Hi everyone, we're doing a full day of eating today. I'm so excited to share. My current macros are at 140 protein, 260 carbs, and 50 grams of fat for my full day. It is a training day, so this is gonna vary from a rest day, but maybe we could do a different video on that later. But for now, let's jump into breakfast and then I'll share with you what my go-to staples are. So the goal with this whey frosting, whey drip is not to put too much water. You just need to go a little bit. And the formula that is shared on the internet is however many grams of protein that your scoop is. So the serving size here is 34 grams. The amount of water you want to put in is 10 grams less of that. So for example, let's do some math. 34 grams is in the current scoop of my protein. 10 grams less of that is 24. So we just want to aim for about 24 grams of water, so that way it still gets to like a really thick frosting like consistency. So it's gonna look kind of, ooh, try not to make a mess. See how that's going? I think I ended up putting like 25 grams of water in here just because it's hard. This is what we're going for. Frosting. This is gonna go in the freezer while I prep everything else. Okay, breakfast is served. I'm a floor girly and we actually don't have a dining table, but it's really just because I like eating on the floor more so than anything. It's a little bit more comfortable. I'm sitting on a yoga block though, not like on my butt, so it makes things a little more comfortable. But this is her. You saw me create it and you probably saw me eat it in the last video as well. 50 grams of quick oats, 70 grams of frozen blueberries, and then 1 scoop of protein with a little bit of water, making that whey drip, whey frosting consistency. In my coffee, I will typically have, and I prefer to have, about 2 ounces of non-fat, and that comes out to about 56 grams of non-fat, which I weigh out, and then I just do one of my Nespresso pods, which is, you know, regular coffee sized, and then I do 1 smaller scoop of stevia, as well as 1 pump of a sugar-free caramel or sugar-free vanilla. Today I opted for sugar-free caramel. So I'm gonna start chowing down on this. I'm gonna go see and run through what all of my need to do's are for today, and then more specifically, what's on the menu for today, and then we can run through that together. Some time has passed after I eat breakfast. I needed to just lay and do some things on my phone, honestly, but wanted to go over sort of what is set for my macros for the day. And one of the things that I always recommend to my girlies, but then just selfishly, this helps me so much, and it helps kind of shift around my mental load and my mental capacity when it comes to tracking macros. And so what I'll do is I'll go through all of my meals for the day and track and pre-plan what my meals are for the day. And so for a lot of girls, like, they'll follow meal plans where they're eating very specific things for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and there's maybe not that much variety. Maybe there is some variety. For me, there's a lot of meals that I'm familiar with that I will reuse and redo time and time again, but as far as day to day, I'll sort of take the time the morning of or the evening before, so that way I'm kind of knowing what I'm getting myself into for that day. I like that. Some girlies, it might not be for them, but that's okay. For me, it kind of still gives me a little bit of freedom of choosing the meals that I want to eat for that day. And I can have variety if I want to. So let's just go through my meals for today. And you might laugh because there is a lot of repetitiveness in some of the meals, but you'll see. So we just had breakfast. That one was the 50 grams of oats, 70 grams of frozen blueberries, my scoop of protein in form of like the whey drip, and then I had my non-fat that I track with my coffee. My next meal is going to be at lunchtime, and that's considered like around noon. Meal number 2 is going to consist of some rice, shredded lettuce, ground beef, some butter, a chicken sausage. I've been really enjoying the Belinsky sausage from Whole Foods. It's new. It's new into my diet, and I really like it. I feel like the bloat from the sodium for this specific sausage hasn't had that much impact on my weight. And I've had sausages in the past, or I've had like teriyaki meatballs like from Costco in the past, and even though it fit my macros just fine, the sodium content within those meatballs made me gain not a significant amount of weight, but enough to notice on the scale, which isn't necessarily bad. Like, I want to reiterate, sodium and water weight is so much different than like gaining fat. But for me, I feel like the bloat too was another symptom as to like why I didn't want to keep that specific meatball or sausage into my diet. But with these Belinsky sausage that I grabbed from Whole Foods, really yummy, really good. So yeah. Rice, lettuce, ground beef, 1 chicken sausage, some butter, and then I also have some barbecue sauce from G Hughes. It's like the sugar-free barbecue sauce. That's what's gonna be for my lunch. For my lunch, I usually like to call that the burger bowl, and this specific burger bowl is kind of like a barbecue-ish style because the sausage, you'll see, it's like a yummy like Cajun style sausage, but I like to have some form of like a burger bowl for my lunch. So that's that. For my pre-workout is going to consist of an everything bagel with whipped cream cheese, honey, and salt. Love that combination. I'm going to miss it when I have to eventually go lower in my carbs, but for now, that's what I have. And then for my post-workout, that's going to be 4 slices of sourdough bread, 4 egg whites, and 1 whole egg. Super yum. It's like a breakfast for post-workout. And then I have my dinner. My dinner is going to consist of sweet potato, some ground beef, some black beans, some butter. And then for my late night cap, my sweet treat, it's going to be a Yasso cookies and cream ice cream bar. So that's what's on the menu for today. It is, and it sure does sound like a lot of food, and it's honestly great right now. Like, I've just started prep, so obviously there's going to be a time where I'm eating less and less and less. But for now, this has just been a change from my last week of my improvement season to now being in prep, where there's a little bit less fat, there's a little bit less carbs. My cardio has been bumped up by like 5 minutes compared to my previous, where it was 20 minutes 4 times a week. Now it's 25 minutes 4 times a week. And yeah, we're just gonna be steady rocking, and hopefully this body fat just starts to shred off over time. I weighed in today, and it was sort of a new low for me, which is kind of funny. I already know and understand that, you know, when you start to put yourself in a calorie deficit, your body's going to respond very well at first, but as time goes on and as more pounds gets shredded off of me, it's going to be a little bit harder to see a difference in the scale. So new low today. Just started prep, and I'm gonna see a lot more new lows going forward. But anyways, I'm sipping on my BCAAs and some creatine. This is your creatine reminder. So just be sure that you're kind of tracking your supplements along the day. I won't touch too much into that topic today. Just want to focus on like the full day of eating, but that's what I've got going on. Planning kind of what my day is going to look like before I really jump into the day is something that I recommend for everybody, whether it's the night before or the morning of. It takes the mental load off of what I need to be eating throughout the day, and it's just more so, it's less of what do I need to eat, and it's more so when do I need to eat. Because a lot of these ingredients and food, like I mentioned in my last video, they're already prepped. They're already pretty ready to go. I can just throw stuff into a bowl, pop it in the microwave, and then I'll be fine for the most part. So yeah, this is great. This is great. I need to work now, touch in and check in with my powerlifting and my nutrition clients, and then I have to just write down some list of things that I want to accomplish today. I think I'm going to be meeting up with my posing coach, which is super awesome. She flew in from California into Honolulu, so I'm excited to be meeting up with her. I'm not sure if we're going to have a posing session today or not. I know she's super busy and she's on vacation, so if we do, I'll be sure to grab content for that, but if not, A-okay. Just saying hi would be great for me. And it's always nice to kind of like see your online coaches face to face. So I'm gonna just clock in on this, and I will see you for lunch. Okay, and we're back for lunch. So what we have in here is some rice, ground beef, the Belinsky's chicken sausage. Let me pull up my macro so I could read it out loud here. So I have 100 grams of cooked jasmine rice. I have about 45 grams of shredded lettuce. I have 2 ounces of ground beef. I have 1 Belinsky's chicken sausage. It's the Cajun style sausage. And then I have 12 grams of Kerrygold butter, as well as 2 tablespoons of the G sugar-free sweet and spicy barbecue sauce. I like the lettuce because it kind of gives the meal a little bit more volume. I don't have too much fiber in this specific meal, and for really no particular reason other than I just wanted it to be kind of simple in this way. Ways I put fiber in my meals is like frozen veggies or beans, honestly. Kind of have been my go-to as of late, but this meal, I just didn't feel like it. And that's just kind of the freedom of macro tracking. And so that's kind of what I've got going on here. I also add sriracha, which is pretty much low to no, calorie significant. What am I trying to say? There's no significant calorie, like nutrient with hot sauce specifically, and I'm a sauce girly and I'm a spicy girly, so I usually will add like sriracha, I'll add like tapatio to a lot of my meals, and yeah. For my drink of choice, it's gonna be a Coke Zero Vanilla Orange Cream. So that's kind of what I've been working with as of late. I put it in my big old Yeti cup with some ice, and I'm just gonna be sipping on this as well as this meal for my lunch. This isn't my pre-workout. It is gonna be different, like I said in my last clip when I was kind of getting ready for the day, but I'm not gonna be training until a little bit later. I might pop in to train one of my girls like with their accessories because she's kind of switching from a powerlifting to a bodybuilding, power building type of training program. I hate putting titles on things, I'll be honest, but she wants to do more bodybuilding, but not completely fall off the earth with squat, bench, and deadlifting, which is totally fair. So I'm kind of making that program work for her right now. So I'm gonna go to the gym after I finish eating this, check in on her and train her, and then we'll be back for pre-workout. Okay, we are back with our pre-workout meal. Focus, focus. This is going to be one everything bagel from Costco, and it's going to be whipped cream cheese as well as a drizzle of honey. Let me read to you what the macros are. Pre-workout everything bagel, whipped cream cheese, 3 tablespoons, 11 grams of honey. This is actually 9 grams of honey, so let me fix this. And yeah, so it comes out to 67.4 grams of carb, 10.8 grams of fat, and then 12.5 grams of protein. So I'm going to eat this, and then I'm going to go over train lower body, and then I am going to be posing with my posing coach today, and that'll be really fun. I think I'm going to make that a separate video, but I'm going to go ahead and chat on this. I'm going to show you what my pre-workout kind of pump that I'm loving right now, and then I'm going to go back to the gym. I'll probably see you back for my post-workout meal, or not. We'll see. We'll see. Well. Some time has passed. It's about 9:13 and I need to go to bed pretty soon. So let's get this last meal in. Let's have our sweet treat, enjoy ourselves, and then we get to close out this vlog. I'm excited. This was really neat. I'm going to go ahead and just show you how I prep my little last meal of the day, and then we'll just yap about, what to expect over the next couple of weeks, where my weight is at, and all that good tea. Quiet on set.
Quiet on set. 3, 2. Sorry.
I'm serious, I'm recording now.
Okay.
Okay, so now that dinner is made, you probably saw a little bit of it. I have sweet potatoes, ground beef. Hold on, let me pull up my macros. So I have 100 grams of roasted sweet potato. I have 55 grams of black bean, and then I have 3.5 ounces of ground beef. You saw me put in a little bit of the Kerrygold butter. That was about 8 grams. And what I topped it off with was some shredded lettuce, some Taco Bell hot sauce, which you can buy at Walmart. If you didn't know, now you know. This is the fire sauce, which is 0 calories. So I just, not tracking it, poured it all over. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add some salt, pepper on top, and enjoy this meal before I eat my sweet treat for the evening, which is a yasso. So I'm excited. I feel really tired. If it were up to me, I would honestly prefer to go to sleep right now. After posing, it was so much fun, but we posed for about an hour and I just don't have the stamina for it. So afterwards, I was just rotting on the couch back there, which is why it's messy. So don't mind me. I'm gonna check off this box and just eat this meal, even though I would prefer to sleep. And I'm gonna be grateful for the calories and the food that I have now. And then I'll come back and we'll yap over a yasso. Okay. Last meal of the day, which is my sweet treat, which I take very, very seriously. I have been a very big fan of yasso. Yasso is kind of what I always say to my boyfriend. I do really like the sea salt caramel, like the chocolate covered sea salt caramel crunch one. And then I found these at Costco or Sam's Club, miraculously. This one is the cookies and cream one. These are never like ever sold in bulk here in Hawaii, at least. So like finding these at Sam's or Costco was 10 out of 10. Had to cop. And I really like it. It's the cookies and cream flavor. So I want to just share, I started prep technically last week. Yes, so it's been about a week that I've been on prep. Looking at my numbers, I am down. Hold on, let me go. Let me find my weight. I track my weight almost every single day, unless I'm traveling and I don't have access to a scale. But I've been tracking my weight every single day since November 13th. And it's crazy because I'm kind of back to the body weight in which I started, but I look very, very different. So the recomp was recomping, you guys. Okay, so let's see. I started a week ago. I was kind of weighing in the 128s and fluctuating upwards of like 130. Let me see. In my improvement season, the highest I ever got was, it's looking like 131, 132. But as of today, as of this morning, I weighed in at 126.8, which is so insane. It's really only like a pound or two, but to me, that's really big because it's felt like a breeze, honestly. My calories were lowered just a bit. So I was previously at 300 carb, 140 protein, and 60 fats on my training days. And it was brought down to 260 carb, 140 protein. So protein is staying the same. And then I want to say 50 fats. Hold on. I keep forgetting if it's 50 or 55, but let me just double check while I have it. Okay, so 55 fat. 55 fat on my training days, and I know it's 50 fat on my rest days. On my rest days, I'm not eating as much. My carbs are even lower, and then my fats are lowered a little bit more. But like I said, just taking away 40 grams of carbs, honestly, not feeling it very much. I think I felt hungry for the first time since being like basically on this bodybuilding program, because I have been like having my calories increase every so often in my improvement season. Now that prep is starting, I know that my hunger hormones are going to start kicking in and like metabolism is going to start kicking in. So I felt hungry for the first time on Saturday or Sunday, just over the weekend. And that's probably because I wasn't like at work and I wasn't like as busy, I would say. But yeah,
it was the first time I felt hungry, and that was really cool because typically I'm not really feeling hungry at all. I'm just sort of like timing my meals, making sure that I'm just checking my boxes, getting the calories in. But now that I'm experiencing my first week of prep, food is definitely drawn back a little bit, but everything's still very doable, very cool. I'm feeling a little bit sleepy. I don't know if that's maybe the food or maybe just the posing that I just did or the training, but yeah, so far, so cool. Really enjoying myself. I hope that you